Of the Saints Block Party podcast coming at you. It is a Friday night, and first of all, much love. Shout out to our dude Chris. We're recording live streaming. Woof, internet just dropped, so we just keep rolling. This is what happens when when you live stream. Uh, Out the gate, Chris with the $50 super chat. Appreciate you, brother. Much love. Saints Block Party podcast brought to you by Precious Works LLC, and we're recording it on a Friday night, talking about the Saints. That's like the entire, I guess you could say, like the entire theme of this offseason so far in terms of free agency and in terms of things getting going. Is there's already I think I saw there was, you know, 15, 20 people waiting for the live stream on a Friday night. I can't remember since Ryan and I started this podcast when that has been the case. But as we wait for Ryan to get on, if this is your first time listening, we are Saints Block Party Podcast. My name is Adam, and I am typically joined by my co-host, my pal, my friend, my buddy, Ryan, aka Wolf. He just got back on right now. I just kept it going. We have covered many things specifically for the Saints. Pro days, combines, senior bowls, you name it. We've covered it these last 2 years. And I know you had dropped off for a second, Wolf, but I was just talking about the fact that it's a Friday night, and before we even started recording, there was like 20 people waiting for the live stream. If that
Wow.
doesn't tell you, like it's 10 p.m. Central Time. If that doesn't tell you what this team has invested into the community of Saints fandom, I don't know what else will. I don't know what else will.
Times is changing, baby. We're in the middle of March.
Mark,
March, baby.
free agency done already slowed down. We already in like wave 3 of free agency, and that
Niggas
whole
still hype.
and listen, we'll get into it. We'll get into it. So this episode, we're going to talk about how essentially this offseason very much is about how the culture in Kellen Moore and what the team is doing is geared towards changing the culture of the New Orleans Saints. So we're going to get into that. We're going to talk about the press conferences and introductory press conferences for the free agents. We're going to talk about the USC Pro Day that took place yesterday that myself and our dude Kevin was at. But I've been meaning to ask you this question, Wolf. I've been meaning to ask it to you on the podcast, and I haven't been able to ask it. I apologize. I'm looking like Will Smith from The Pursuit of Happiness right now. I need a
Me
fresh
too,
cut.
bro.
Also, though, congrats to Wolf for passing his certification today. My man was stressing
Stressing.
and passed that bitch. Pass.
Pass that bug. Y'all hiring? Just asking. Holla at me.
Maybe we can get you a job on airline, bro. Wouldn't that be some shit, bro? I'd pass out.
Saints can't afford me, bro.
Anyway,
Saints, the slave wages over there.
I mean, you saw what Gail Benson was paying her assistant or whatever. Anyway, that's another conversation.
We ain't gonna go to weird.
So this has just been on my mind. When do you or Bree ever do like well, I guess Target is quote unquote canceled, but like Target pickup, Walmart pickup, whatever pickup, where like you order ahead and then you
Not usually for like Target, grocery stores, and stuff like that. Not normally. But yeah, we will pick up some stuff sometimes. Like
okay.
Michael's or Target. We've done Target a couple times. Yeah.
Okay.
What about it?
So then, what is the etiquette for when you say you're on the way? Like, what is like the time frame of when you hit that button when you're on the way? Like, give me like minutes.
Let me tell you what I do. I park in the reserve spot and I go walk in there, and go get my shit. That's what I do. I don't sit there like people sit there. They hit the phone, hit the thing on the app, or they call a number for them to come out. I ain't got time for all that. Like I don't know how it is in LA, Adam, but down south, you gonna be sitting there waiting a long time. I ain't got no time for that shit.
Well, the reason I asked is me and Jay had this like, so when I used to do Target pickup, Walmart pickup, whatever, I would say I'm on the way when I left from like a home visit, and like the home visit could be like 45 minutes away, like an hour away, because it says you're on the way, right? And she was like, "Why would you do that? You're only supposed to do that when you're like 15 minutes away." And I'm like, "Says who? It doesn't specify when you're saying you're on the way. Like, on the way is on the way." Anyway, it's just something I had wanted to just touch base.
I remember when like we first got the little Walmarts where you could do the pickups, and you know my first time trying it, I parked, then I hit like outside. Boy, I was waiting all day. Boy, I said I'd never do this shit again.
Walmart has has some of the worst pickup ever. Anyway, I just wanted to.
It's Walmart, man. I mean,
I know. I know. But now the theme I have really seen for this team this offseason, free agency, it's been a couple of things, but the big theme I've seen is changing the culture and the attitude of the New Orleans Saints. Also mixed in that theme is kind of taking Band-Aids off and walking away from the past. And they're doing kind of both in the same offseason. And what I mean by that is that walking away from the past has a lot of like walking away from like the being under the shadow of Sean Payton or what Sean Payton had built. You can say what you want to say. Even during those years that Dennis Allen was the head coach, it still just felt like he was like just trying to copy and paste, maybe do some things a little different, but still very much like even the personnel was very Sean Payton-esque. Yeah. And this offseason, you see the team trying to also under Dennis Allen, the team had established a culture of losing. They had been perennial losers, except like his first season. But other than that, like they didn't win a lot. And so I see this effort of getting players from winning teams in free agency. And also, so I with Demario Davis, we'll talk about Cam Jordyn later. Like this is a team where it's like, y'all can come back if y'all want to come back, but if y'all gonna come back, that price got to be right. And that price ain't right, we got to do what we got to do. And I know, and I saw a couple of things like on Twitter when they released like the Demario Davis video and people are like, well, they could have afforded Demario. And it's like, it's not about if they could have afforded Demario or not. Like Demario Davis, as great as a person that he is a 37-year-old linebacker. He played incredible football for the Saints, had done a lot of team-friendly deals, but like he's 37 and this is his last payday. So he deserves to get paid. Yeah. And so it is so fascinating to see this team try to transform itself. We've heard a lot during the pressers of like wanted to come to New Orleans because of Tyler Shuck, which is, can you like
it's crazy.
Ain't that and not only are we seeing it with free agents, we heard Carnell Tate earlier this offseason mentioning Tyler Shuck. Tyler Shuck was on the Downs and Downs podcast.
Caleb Downs
and Josh Downs and said, bruh,
it's crazy.
That is how instantly insane. And the crazy thing is like he only played like a handful of games last season. Even that, like, was it 10 games? It felt like it was even less than that. Even like that truncated amount of games got noticed by free agents, got noticed by draft prospects, and the future looks completely different than it did like even a year ago.
Unbelievable. It's crazy. Just crazy and I wouldn't even call it success because the Saints, I mean, they won 6 games. It's not like they had like a ton of success or anything, but it's how it's what we talked about we was talking about all this, how it looks. You know what I'm saying?
That's the part.
Everybody like to talk about that. What the 9-win season DA had a couple years ago. They had like the easiest schedule like in the history of NFL or whatever. Won 9 games. Like, I'm sorry, we watched that team. Like that 9 wins, like didn't mean much. People like, oh, it's 9 wins, it's 9 wins. It's like, no, like nobody can really look at that team and be like, okay, they building something over there. They're really cooking. They're really building something promising over there. No, like you didn't look at that team and be like they were building something. But this team is tattered and beat up and lack of talent. You could still see last year, like, like there is there's like a skeleton there that's something there. There's something there that you could see that has some potential. You know, there's like a flower coming out the ground, just a little piece of flower. It's like, okay, I could see some potential right there. And I think it's just spreading, man. It's spreading across. It's really amazing to see. Shout out to Shuck, man. Shuck been doing all the right things, bro. Like Shuck out there having dinner with Travis Ashan, not ATN, Ashan. He out there having dinner with him, you know, the steakhouse with Jordyn and Eric McCoy, you know, just looking like damn, you didn't really took over this team that quick. Like you really just took and just said, okay, this is my team. This is what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? And that comes from him just being an older guy, being more mature, and just having that kind of umption to just go ahead, okay, I'm just gonna own it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna own it. And I think that's infectious across across everything. And like you said, point you said, go and get guys from winning teams, specifically David Edwards.
Yeah,
Kellen Moore talked about that in his presser. Like, this is a guy who's been with, was with the Rams, was with Buffalo, you know what I'm saying? Winning teams. Kellen said he's a guy who saw what it's supposed to look like. That's what Kellen said. And, and that's a big thing for Kellen, because right now we have a bunch of guys on the team that don't know what it's supposed to look like. Like it's from the DA era and all that stuff. They don't know what it's supposed to look like. So it's good to have guys like David Edwards come in that knows what it's supposed to look like. And yes, we had guys like Cam and DeMario. They knew what it was supposed to look like. But that time is moving on, man. Like, you got to turn the chapter. You just got to, bro.
All well said. Jack Hunter in the chat said, "Sup, just happy to be here. Almost died on Wednesday. Car accidents, no joke, bro. Hope you're okay, man. Like,
prayers up, bro. You all good? Not in the hospital or nothing.
It'd be wild if he was in the hospital, but still was like, woof, stop, bro.
Shout out to Jack, bro.
like old dude in remember the Titans, bro? Like, he got the radio.
Like, hell yeah.
And when they won, he puts his arms on like this. That's Jack right now. We're just kidding, Jack. All love.
Shout out to Jack.
Something that even Jake said this at the combine, mentioning that Chris Bell from Louisiana is wanting Shuck to get him on the squad. Like, politicking, telling Shuck, hey, do whatever you gotta do to tell front office to make sure I come play with yo.
I was in the building another day.
It's just and I'm not beating a dead horse, but it's just like this 180 from Derek Carr. Like it's just completely different. It feels different. One of the things that stood out to me, Travis Achan, you could definitely tell, like, he just wanted to be back in Louisiana and be back home so much. And he even said, the Chiefs were involved, the Broncos were involved, but as soon as, like, he got that call from the Saints, like, it was it. Like, that was it. When they put the picture of Ryan Wright up, I thought that was David Edwards. Wolf.
I did not think that was a damn punter.
That's a boy's thick. This is a punter? It's a punter? Bro, I know I just want if there's a punt return, I just want him to like lay a lick on a punt return if he gets close enough, bro. Just lay him out, bro.
I need it, bro.
But what were your overall just so I was the pressures were going on literally as USC Pro Day was happening.
Mm-hmm.
So I was trying to keep up with the tweets. I went back and listened to a couple of them. But what were just your overall thoughts from the introductory pressers? So they had Ryan Wright, David Edwards, and Noah Fant yesterday, and then Travis Achans this morning. Just your thoughts when you heard the new additions to the team.
I mean, just the vibes were all positive as you would expect. I mean, dude signed big contracts.
Mm-hmm.
It was good to hear David Edwards. It was just really good to listen to him. He sounds like just your quintessential, like, offensive lineman. Like he's gonna be that. He's gonna be that guy in the room, and it's a young room. I mean, Eric McCoy,
It is.
he's obviously a leader too. But you think about Kelvin Banks and Fuaga and the other guy. Anyway, like, so it's good to have him up in there. And he talked about how how he's excited to work with Kelvin Banks. He talked about how he watched a good bit of the Saints preparing to play the Jets, and there's the crossover tape, Jets defense versus Saints offense, and he said he got to watch Tyler Shuck, and he was like, whoa, this dude could play. Like, hold up now. You know what I'm saying? And he said he got to notice Kelvin Banks also, like, man, this is a little young stud right here. This boy's young, but he's talented, and he's excited to play right next to him at left guard. So, like, just hearing that guy, just a guy that just very in tune with what's going on, it was good and positive to hear that. Also, Caden Ellis, got to hear him. He just,
Oh, that's right. Left one up.
He just, just sounds great, man. Sounds great, looks great. Just look like he's just gonna fit right in, bro. He talked about.
Did Caden Ellis get more handsome? Like, was he always this handsome, bro? Like,
I don't know, bro, but he looked like. He just looked like the Chad, you know what I'm saying? He just looked like that guy, But he talked about, like, coming up with the Saints, coming up playing behind DeMario, all the stuff he just took in from DeMario Davis, the leadership, the community stuff. He just repeated so many things that it's just crazy to hear that, like, because he ain't been with the Saints for years now. But his ability to just recall all the stuff he learned from DeMario Davis. So that just goes to show just how important, like, DeMario Davis was having him in the building. And that just shows like that was a good pickup to get Ellis. When you're trying to move on from kind of that old into that new, Ellis is kind of like a blend of the two because he's been with the Saints. You know what I'm saying? He's been with the Saints. He was drafted under, Sean Payton and stuff like that. But at the same time, he's kind of bringing a new energy into the building also. So I just thought that was pretty cool. The one, like the highlight of the presser, specifically Kelly Moore, was he was asked multiple times about Alvin Kamara. In particular, he was asked a pointed question by our girl Kat. Kat gonna come with the issue, and she just basically asked, like, okay, like, what's the deal with Alvin Kamara? Like, is he a part of the team? Like, is he a part of the team in 2026? And it was a non-answer. Like, it was, the process is gotta let the process. Got to process the process. And I'm just like, what?
Isn't the non-answer the answer? Like, yeah. I think about, and I've been at the combine twice now, and it is. I don't know if you ever watched the show Lie to Me, like, in terms of, like, it was a show on Fox about, like, tells when people are, like, lying and not telling the truth. It was really good, very underrated. But I have just picked up on a couple of, like, nuances that, perfect example, when I asked a very pointed question to Chris Ballard about Michael Pittman Jr., and I said, Michael Pittman Jr. brought up on NFL Daily, that he didn't know what his future with the Colts were, and so, like, can you, can you expand on Michael Pittman Jr.'s future with the Colts? He immediately started telling a story about Michael Pittman being a pilot, and I'm like, nigga, like, what are you talking about? Like, and then he called it, like, it was purely hypothetical for Michael Pittman not to be in the Colts. Something happened similarly last year when I asked Mike McDonald a question about Geno Smith. Like, So all that to say, when the answer, sometimes even when the answer is a straight, like sometimes coaches or GMs will tell you, like, will lie straight to your face, bro. Just tell you exactly what it is. And we saw that last year with Derek Carr, the Derek Carr situation after the combine. But the fact that Kellen didn't provide an answer and he gave a non-answer is so telling. And I don't know for sure, but I would say just from just being a logical person that the chances of AK having a spot on this team is like less than 50. And I'm not saying that potentially he's going to get cut or he's going to get traded. You know, it could be that he just chooses to retire. Like that is, you know, Ian Rappaport said that the day that Achan got signed. So with that said, and I don't think that they would, but if AK was to retire and if somehow Jeremiah Love fell to 8, what are you doing?
Ooh, that's so fascinating, bro. It's so fascinating. Because, like, a lot of team builders wouldn't like that. They'd be like, okay, you just paid a guy $13 million.
It's kind of like the running back version of what the Falcons did with the quarterbacks.
Exactly. I mean, you know, obviously not to that degree, but it's very similar because you're investing a lot in a running back position, which is an important position. Don't get me wrong, but it's still like a position where it's like, okay, when you're team building, that's not where you plan on spending like $26 million or, you know, a top 10 pick and $13 million. It's just team building. But on the flip side, talent is talent, bro.
And the O-line is looking better, bro. You could just, I mean, you could just like schematically, you could just pound teams, bro. Just
pound teams, bro. And then it looked like, you know, maybe a year from now you trade ATN or whatever. I mean, HN. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like you just stuck like that. But I mean, we'll get to that if that happens. But still, with AK, what was also funny about that is like Kellen Moore can't really lie. Like,
he can't, bro. Greg said it,
like,
bro.
You know, Sean Payton would have lied so easily up there, bro. Like,
easy, bro.
Like, well, look, Alvin Kamara is a part of this team. He's not going anywhere. Like, you can just hear Sean Payton like, Alvin's not going anywhere, and then be cut next week. You know what I'm saying? Like, Sean just lied just so easily,
bro.
But like Kellen, he just like hunches his back. Like his whole demeanor just changes. It's like a struggle to lie, which is like, I guess, a good trait. Like, it's good that you're not a good liar. Like, you know what I'm saying? But it's still funny to see that you can't just lie. Like, you just lie. You could have just said, look, he's under contract. So, yeah,
like he just start sweating, bro.
Sweating, bro. Like, but yeah, it's not looking like it. Just looking at some of the comments, I don't know. It just looks like AK won't be here, bro. Like, and I get like Saints fans. I really do get them. You know, like even with Cam Jordyn, like, man, I would love for Cam to come back. One of my favorite Saints of all time, long-time Saint, lifetime Saint. I would love him like to finish his career here. You know what I'm saying? But there's also like the flip side of it is where like these things rarely end happily. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Rarely.
Players, they usually end injured or they getting cut or they're leaving to go to another team. It just never ends like with handshakes. And usually years later they come back, reconcile differences and stuff like that. But you rarely see situations like with Drew Brees, the way he was able to retire.
Rarely. And
just with the Saints and, you know, just leave amicably and retire. But it just kind of is what it is, man. Like, I'm for, like, just moving on and turning chapters.
Speaking of turning chapters, and I'm going to put this question from the question from the chat and then get back to the Cam Jordyn piece. Hemisphere 7156 said, "What if the Saints draft Love with the 8th pick? Could this mean Kendre Miller time is up? Since it does sound like the end of AK in New Orleans." Like, I forgot Kendre Miller was even on the fucking team, bro.
He's not even in the equation, bro.
Who? Kendre? Kendra? I don't know who that. I don't know who.
What was his injury? I can't. Was it an ACL?
It was ACL.
Okay. That we just talking about moving on from chapters. Like, that's a chapter. That's an easy chapter to move.
Easy, bro. And if he signs on with another team and looks great, like great for that team. But
Good
like
for him. Good
in
for you, bro.
in this,
In
uh,
this, please.
Jack Hunter said, car T-boned another car. I was walking on the sidewalk and the car flew in my direction and ran. Glory to God that there was a tree that took the hit with me standing 5 feet away. That sounds like
Ooh,
some Final
Final
Destination shit.
Destination type shit, bro.
Ooh.
Man,
Well, glad you're okay, Jack.
glad you're okay, brother.
That sounds scary as shit. I want to talk about the Cam Jordan thing because if you go to, and I said this last week, I think it was. I don't know. No, this week. But like, if you like go to Cam Jordan's social media, it is very like no calls, no text, kind of like
Mm-hmm.
feeling disrespected.
Yep.
And this is what I can say. I believe that the Saints want prior to the draft, if they can, want to address edge rusher, cornerback, potentially another tight end. I know they would still like to add Njoku, maybe, you know, another tight end that Kellen Moore has coached in the past. Um, let's say corner edge, and there's another position. Oh, wide receiver. Sorry. Like to address those if it's the right. And even Kellen said like there are still some players in free agency that they would like to add. So I'm not just pulling this out of my ass. With edge rusher, it feels like they are wanting to go younger, and this is no shot at Cam, but more explosive. And if they're able to go younger and more explosive, then they're willing to spend more money it would take to sign a younger, more explosive edge rusher. If they bring Cam back, I think they're in this position where it's like we are okay having you back, but if you're coming back, like this is what it is. Like we can do up to this much, and I don't want to say like saying like a super hard line in negotiation, but that line seems like it's a pretty hard line that they're not wanting to cross. And so I also think for Cam, it's been a little humbling
Yeah.
for how things have played out in free agency with his market or potentially like maybe like lack thereof.
Yeah. I mean, he feels disrespected. Period.
Yeah.
And I can understand it from his perspective. You coming off 10 and a half sacks. You've been with the team your entire career. Last year you took kind of like I wouldn't call it a pay cut, but you allowed some wiggle room to, focus on incentives and stuff like that. You earned the money back, but you had to earn it. Um, so you feel disrespected because now you coming to them and it's like, look, man, I've showed loyalty. My loyalty has been there. Like, can you show it to me now? Like, can you show me a little loyalty? But we know how the business goes. Like, there is no loyalty. There is no loyalty. And the Saints have been like loyal to a fault for a lot of
Yes.
people, for a lot of times, for a lot of years. And I think now, and this is what happens, like when you switch up, you know, you've been playing a loyalty game for years, and now you switch up, and now you want to be, stone cold business.
Mm-hmm.
You break hearts like that, even though it might be the smartest thing to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And honest to me, from a team builder standpoint, it makes sense from
It does, man.
their perspective. It just does. Like I know Cam looking at Cameron Hayward getting 16 million from the Steelers. Like, damn, look at that. Like we same draft class, they taking care of him, and I understand that. But from the Steelers standpoint, I'm like, that's stupid. It's like, damn, 16 million. Like I love Cam Hayward. He's a Hall of Famer, but like, bro, like y'all need to same. They do the same thing with quarterback. They keep going
They
after
do, bro.
Aaron Rodgers and like, what are y'all doing? So I'm happy the Saints are kind of just being shrewd businessmen.
It's
Even
taking
though,
them a while,
and it's taken them long enough, honestly.
but you also get the how do I word it? Like, I think there are fans who are very much of like just bring him back, like,
Yeah,
and that's like bring him back regard. Like you can afford him, bring him back, and it's like you gotta be a smart team,
yeah,
like, and just in regards to just team building, like you have to be a smart team. But anything else from the pressers, from Kellen talking and having the presser, we want to hit on before we jump into maybe like USC Pro Day and the draft.
Nah, that's it, man. It was just interesting to see. Another thing that's just interesting to me is just like we're seeing all these players, like veteran players that grew up Saints fans, like grew up watching Breeze. Man, like I remember watching Drew Brees and Marcus Colston and Michael Thomas and all that. It's like, damn, like we're at that point now where veteran players have grown up watching the Saints
Oh
Breeze era.
boy.
It's just amazing to see. It's amazing.
It is. And Travis H.M. said that he wore 9 at
Oh
Clemson
man.
because of Drew. Like, it's crazy. Anyway, let's take our break right here, and after that, we're going to come back, finish up free agency talk, go into USC Pro Day, and talk some draft talk right after this break. Yo, what up, Wolf? What are you looking at?
Man, I'm checking out this website. This site is cheeks, bro.
In the 21st century? How do you have a crappy website? Couldn't be me.
They need to hit up our guy Bijan with Precious Works. Precious Works offers to not only build you a website that's tailored to you and your customers' needs, but also to continue to manage and maintain it so you can focus on your business. Don't have much time? Precious Works is just what you need. No out of the box stuff like Squarespace or Wix. Precious Works will create a site for you. You won't have to worry about plugin updates, security, or things like that because Precious Works will maintain all of that and be available to you 24/7. Bijan set up Saints Block Party Podcast website for us a few years ago and hit it out the park. He also keeps it up to date and helps us anytime we want to add something new like a form or the prospect matching tool that we did for the NFL draft. It's like having your own personal developer just a text or a call away. Precious Works has worked with everyone from small businesses to large firms, so no job is too big or too small. If you're in the need of a website or you currently have one, but you want to upgrade it, give Bijan a holler at Precious Works. You can get with him at Bijan at Precious Works, BIJON at precious.works, or go to precious.works for his website. Make sure to tell him Saints Block Party sent you.
We are back. Jake in the chat said Kyler Murray talking about that Vikings playoff game making him cry real tears was hilarious.
Love it. Love it.
One, this is something I've noticed with 2 teams, especially in the top 10, with the Saints and the Commanders. And there's still some things that they can do on the edges. I think the Saints are still going to be active and try to add players prior to the draft next month. But they have done a really good job of filling needs and must so that come draft day, they could just go the best player available. And I feel like specifically, and the Titans have done it a bit as well.
Yep.
But the Commanders, the Saints have just done that very much so in free agency. And it's so funny because they pick right after each other. It could be eyeing the same players.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's gonna be fascinating, bro. Especially the Titans. The Titans, Whittingham. I think the Giants are positioned to go best player. Even the Browns, they signed 2 big time offensive linemen. I think 3. They traded for offensive line and signed 2. Something
they traded
like that.
for Howard. They signed Jenkins, and they signed another one that they re-signed Tevin Jenkins.
Yeah, I think they still need a left tackle. It's still
Yes.
a big need. So, I'm hoping that's still that pick. In the draft at whatever they pick 6 or whatever.
6, yeah.
I hope so. But you never know. You never know with those things. But that's just the beauty of free agency. All those mock drafts we've been doing for months, straight out. So then you really start to see how the draft falls. Back to Jeremiah Love is man. Say he did get the 8, and then the Saints pass on. Chiefs, they just paid Kenny Walker.
Yep.
So, how far does he fall? Then it's man, the draft is just crazy when you think about it, bro.
It is, and that's perfect segue for us to say that if you want to join the Saints Block Party podcast at our draft party, next month in New Orleans. I think we are up to 20 people, maybe 22. Um, you need to be a Patreon or a YouTube member. Patreon.com/Saints Block Party. You can start as soon or as simple as $3 a month, or if you become a YouTube member, that is $4.99 a month. If you become a member, you want to attend, you got to RSVP. Must RSVP to attend the draft party. But I think I set the last day to RSVP at the end of this month. So if you want to join us, the draft, and they are so fun because the rules that we set, like no spoilers, shout out Cole, but like no spoilers, like just everyone off their phone or just whatever. Just that true feeling of like not knowing what's coming in the draft. It is such a fun experience, especially when you're around your crew, you got
Yeah,
food and
man.
drinks
Food,
and
woo, just enjoying it, bro. Talking draft, and oh man, wouldn't it just be dope just for us to just finally get a pick where we just all excited?
bruh.
Because
It's been
every year is just like, ah.
Hemisphere said, I think Sinker goes to be the slot corner, Blackman and Reed to be
Ugh,
the safeties. No,
ew.
no. Like
It's
Sinker
like
is
ain't no slack.
Sinker is a safety, Reed is a safety. Blackman is depth. Or they may like there may be um some like formations or
Mm-hmm.
some where they're playing three safety set, but like Sinker is not a slot corner. And that's why I said like they want a corner. Like as
Yeah,
much as we back
it's a
them, like
need. It's a need. Like,
it's a must, it's a need. And however they choose to address that is we'll wait and see. Jack Hunter said, do you think it's possible that the Saints go cornerback at 8 and kick someone to the Taylor position? If so, who do you think we move? I mean, all I'll say, Jack, is stuff like that is like we discuss all like in our like, the draft tidbits, like the best draft tidbits you're gonna get is in our Discord. You can become a patron, be in our Discord, or YouTube member, be in our Discord, or our prospect of the week episodes that are Patreon only or YouTube member only has all those draft tidbits. I promise you they do. Alfred said, question, Adam. I know you have a reliable source. How often do you go get info, or a lot of times you like to keep it organic? I would say 90 to 95% of the time, I do not seek out information. I don't ask. I don't do it. Um, because the person that's my source is not just a source, like it's like a true friend. So I just don't want it. I never wanted to become a situation where it was like, oh, I'm just asking for information just to ask. Like there's a true
right.
friendship there. So I would say like 99% of the time I don't ask. It is so which I appreciate because then we can share it and then it
Mm-hmm.
and or the things that I can share I share. If I can't share it, I don't share it. But I was at the USC Pro Day yesterday. Speaking of the draft party, like much love to Kevin,
Much
uh,
love.
who at our first draft party that was in 2022, which was the last time the Saints drafted a player that we were happy about. It was in Vegas. It was me, you, Jay, Bree, and then Kevin and his brother popped up because they were in Vegas for the draft. They popped up, and Kevin has just been such a like an OG, great supporter. So it was dope as shit for him to be able to join me at the USC Pro Day yesterday. Obviously, the stars of the show, Makai Lemon, Jacoby Lane. I I didn't time the 40 because that's not what I do. His second 40 was much better than his first. You can read the reports. I think it was said like he was in between like the 4 point, the 4.48 or like 4.53, which is 100% like accurate in terms of like his game
Yeah.
speed. Like
Right.
that's what we predicted on the prospect of the week episode. But just seeing him go through, you know, he was only going to initially run the 40, and then he went out there and did the passing drills and what have you. And speaking about Makai Lemon, he is. Tony Pauline came out and put it out today that he sees it hard by him getting past the Rams at 13. Who was at the pro day? Les Snead, hat down,
Let's see.
looking incognito. But me and Kevin saw him. He was right. He was right in front of us. And I even asked Kevin like all the other teams that were there because Tony Pauline said all 32 teams were there. I didn't see anyone Saints related, but I believe Tony Pauline. The fact that
The GM
the GM of the Rams was at the pro
during
day.
free agency. Free agency is happening like right now, and he at the pro day. Come on,
He was there a long time in the cut, bro. Like if you don't know how Les Snead looks, you would have no idea it was Les Snead. But I look over the camera, I was like, nigga, that's Les Snead. Like, okay, noticing. Hashtag noticing. Jake said, to be fair, it's a drive for him. I mean, still impressive. Jake said later on was 4.49, I think. Yeah, that feels right. So I just, talking to him, if you're a Makai Lemon fan, we've done the prospect of the week episode on him. That's going to become readily available for everyone, like the truncated condensed version in a week or so. But we've talked about him ad nauseum, but he's just a player that this team, if he were to be drafted by the Saints, he could just open up things offensively in so many different ways. And I'll say a player that has completely from you being at the Senior Bowl till now, man, Jacoby Lane is going to be good in the league. Wolf, he's going to be good in the league.
He is, bro. Like frame whatever it is you don't like about him. The boy good. The boy's a good football player. Got good tape, and every time he gets out there on the field, he looks good. You know what I'm saying? Like he looked good at the combine. He's just a strong, tall, big man. Just a big dude.
He is. Like his frame is so weird because he's like
weird.
He's like so tall. Like he's taller than TJ Houshmandzadeh.
Yeah.
Who was at the pro day. He went to USC. It was just so cool seeing him coaching up, mentoring Jacoby Lane, mentoring Makai Lemon. Caleb Williams was there.
Yeah.
So it was a cool experience, but he was taller than TJ Houshmandzadeh. But like his frame is so slender. But like he has huge mitts. Like his mitts, he has huge mitts, hands. So he just screams like Kevin thinks that Caleb is gonna ensure that the Bears draft him somewhere in the draft, round 2, round 3, and that just
because he played with Caleb too, yeah.
Sure did. And it would just make so much sense. But if you're a Makai Lemon fan, I do think yesterday helped him. With the 40 that he got, and even quote unquote how he acted at the scrum with all that nonsense. It's just gonna be interesting and so fascinating to see where he goes in the draft.
Yo, damn, they're friends now, bro. Like he's right there at the combine, right? He's probably like, damn, this nigga following me, bro.
Wherever you go, I will be there. Jake said it's that baby face. Yeah, freaking Jacoby Lane has a huge baby face. Like it's
baby
very
face, bro. It's funny look because he's huge. Like you look at it, but then he got this little baby face. But that was cool, man. Y'all did good work, and I'm interested to see where Makai Lemon ends up, man.
Yeah, man.
Is he gonna end up like these wide receivers we see every year that come out just like him that are uber productive, got great tape, all this stuff, but the measurables are like, and then they end up going to a good ass team. Can you imagine if he went to the Rams, not even at where they picked 13?
13.
But what if you went to the Rams like with the first rounder? Like that was
I'm fighting someone on airline. I am, bro. Because listen, I'll tell you this: if they pass on him at 8, which they may, if he were to fall to like, and I told this to Kevin, if he were to fall to like 27, 28, I'm calling the teams to see if I can move back up like the New York Giants did
Mm-hmm.
last year to get Jackson Dart to draft Makai Lemon. Now, I'm not going to give up a future first round pick for it.
No, hell
Can
no.
we also talk about the deal that the Giants were able to do with the? No, it wasn't the Texans. It was the Texans. With
What's
the
the Texans?
Texans
Yeah.
to move up to get Jackson Dart was so. I guess it chart wise it made sense, but I was like, that's a steal of a deal to move
That
up
was
to
a
get a
steal of a
quarterback,
deal.
bruh.
Steal of a deal.
Like that,
And
like the Saints won't get deals like that.
hell no, Loomis, hell no. And I was looking at like just the draft chart and stuff like that. For us to move from 42 to like 31, 32 is not bad at all. Like
It's
it
not.
shouldn't be bad. It should cost like a third, a fourth, two fourths, something like that. Like it shouldn't cost much. Um, Now once you start moving into like the 20s,
Yeah,
that's when the costs start going up. But if it's not for a quarterback, that decreases it a little bit. And it also depends on what the draft looks like. You know what I'm saying? This is one of
definitely.
them drafts where a lot of players are kind of grouped together, like from the 20s down to the 50s. Like they're all just kind
Yep.
of in this big cloud, and it's just pick your poison. What do you like? What do you prefer? You prefer Peter Woods? You prefer, Omar Cooper? It's like, what
Omar
do you want?
Cooper.
Like, it's like, what do you want? Like, all those players are going to be there in that clump. So it's going to be interesting if you see teams moving around, and the Saints, if they get a little trigger happy, whether that's Chris Bell, sitting there late first round. Do you want to go up and get him and secure him? Because you just know come day two in the second round.
You gone,
And
bro.
here's the thing: people like say, "Oh, just wait." And when I agree, like I'm not trying to trade a bunch of picks, but people be like, "Man, just sit there at 42, and you'll be able to get a good wide receiver. They're gonna be wide receivers there." I'm like, man, but I've seen too many years of that where it's like, yeah, we're gonna just sit there in the second round, and then come day two, they just pow, pow, pow. They just coming off the board, and
Oh,
then you looking
oh,
like, oh,
or you end up like what happened last year. With this was what the third round, but the Giants traded from the Saints for Isaac Tesla.
Tesla, exactly. And that's why I kind of understand why Mickey does get the itchy chicken finger, and he just wants to go get his guy. But on the flip side, like, be smart about it. Like, don't be trading, you know, future first and all these future picks, especially with the 2027 draft, bro. Because everybody just
No,
trying to
no, no.
load up for that draft, bro.
That draft gonna be a movie, bro. A
Mm.
movie. I wanted to ask you, and I'm not gonna give too much away on this because it's Patreon information, but just on the sense of Makai Lemon, Jordyn Tyson. Take Lemon's size equation out of it. Take Tyson's injury history out of it. Who do you think, not for you as Wolf, who do you think the Saints feel fits their offense better?
That's a good question. I think I might go Tyson. I think I'm gonna go Tyson out of those two. I just think they would view Tyson as more of a traditional
Yep.
wide receiver that they could fit. But it's I don't know, man. Like, god damn, you just watch the tape, though, bro. Like, watch the tape. And that's no knock on Tyson. I think
No.
he is really good too, and I would love to draft him. But man, I do think they would probably lean Tyson just purely on like a fit. I could be
Yeah.
wrong though, man. Like I don't really know what Kellen is looking for, but my gut tells me Tyson would fit that archetype more than Makai Lemon would.
It's so just going back to last year, based off the two wide receivers that we know and reported that if Tet McMillan had been there at 9 instead of with Kelvin Banks, Tet would have been the pick, right?
Yeah.
They wanted to draft Isaac Tasla in the third round. Like I'm not trying to be a size merchant, but just strictly going based off size, I would tend to lean. I think they would lean towards Jordyn Tyson.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But one thing I wanted to add as we kind of just wrap this up and everything is just that I can't understate how crucial this draft is for the New Orleans Saints because we talked about at the beginning of this podcast episode, changing the culture, changing the identity of the team, winning culture. You've signed Achan, Ellis, David Edwards, traded for a punter. We even didn't hit the news that they re-signed Dylan Ray Duns, who saw that was like, oh, something happened with
Yeah.
51. I don't know. In terms of even if not a good depth signing, it was weird. It was a 2-year deal, but whatever. But you had that on one hand, you have to be able to add more young, good players on the team for this rebuild to continue to head in the right direction. Because if they,
Yes.
and I'm not trying to put this out there that they're going to, but if they like falter on this draft class, whoo boy,
Bro. Like they're at like such a critical juncture because they've had so many bad drafts prior to last year.
yes,
We keep talking about how they're gonna have so much cap space next year. That's why they don't have nobody to pay because they haven't drafted anybody worth a damn.
right,
You know what I'm saying? So it's a gift and a curse. Like, yeah, we're gonna have that cap space, but you got to fill it with actually good players. You know what I'm saying? And that's hard to do in free agency, as we see. How quick players fly off the board in free agency. So this draft is crucial, bro. Like they got to be able to walk away from this draft with a couple starters,
yes.
key contributors. Will it be as good as last year? Um, I don't know, but they got what? They got 8 picks. Like,
They ain't keeping all 8.
ain't no
They kept they
ain't,
kept him last year, but
they
they ain't
kept them
keeping all
last
8.
year. That felt like unbelievable. That felt unbelievable that they kept all of them.
They ain't keeping all 8, bro. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice. No, bro. And I think you've seen it. And listen, we talked about this as the season closed in terms of what are the Saints going to be cautious in free agency, and so it's kind of like free agency wise, Mickey probably at the behest of Kellen has been on in terms of cautious in terms of the rebuild or overdrive. I would say is closer to the overdrive, but it's still done very cautiously. None
Yeah.
of the contracts have void or ghost years.
Mm.
The only contract that you can maybe look at and be like, is probably the HN contract just because of you know what he got. But even then, I don't know, man. Like he wanted to come home.
Yeah.
I don't think you mess with that. But uh Jake brought up a good point. He said, I think if the Saints have 3 tight ends on the roster, assuming Njoku comes, I don't think Lemon is as good of a fit. That formationally and schematically makes a lot of sense.
Mhm.
Because if they're going a lot of 12 personnel, 13 personnel, you're
Two wide
pretty much
receivers.
only going to have 2 wide receivers on the field,
Mhm.
which makes sense. Jack said, I have to add more. They have to add more young talent to fill the void of the loss of the vets. Otherwise, depth is going to be an even bigger issue.
Mhm. Yeah, I agree. And you just got to get to the point where you don't want to be like the Commanders, like they did when they drafted Jay Dales, and they just signed a bunch of these like old vets on
Old heads,
1 year
bruh.
deals, just a
Old
bunch of old
heads.
heads, and it hit that first year, like with Jay
Sure did.
Daniels, it hit. They went all the way to the NFC Championship, but it's like the next year it just crumbled. You know what I'm saying? Because you got a bunch of old heads, man, and then you sign like a bunch of old vets. Now you gonna go. Marshawn Lattimore, he already out the door. He on the street. You know what I'm saying? On the street. Um, a bunch of players like that. Von Miller, all these guys. So it's like you they're doing the Saints are actually doing what I wanted them to do is like be like smart aggressive. You know what I'm saying? Target aggression. Go get players in their 20s, mid 20s, late 20s. And if you want to supplement, get 1 or 2 30+ year old guys that can come and just give you a spark. Fine,
Right.
fine. But just be smart about it. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the approach they're taking with Cam Jordan. It's like, yeah, sure,
Yes.
we'd love to have you
Yeah.
back, but like we're not about to go all in with a 37-year-old defensive end. You know what I'm saying? We're just not about to do that, which is smart. Like that's a smart way to approach it.
It is. It is. Anything else we wanted to kind of hit on? Kevin said, seeing him on the field, dude was moving like a gazelle. I'm assuming he's talking about. I don't know if you're talking about Lemon or Lane.
Yeah.
Lane does move like a gazelle, though.
Like a gazelle, he does.
Yeah. Anything else you want to hit on from this week?
Nah, man, that's it, man. Shout out to y'all for going to USC, repping SBP. We out.
Oh, speaking of that, a funny interaction happened. So after we went to USC Pro Day, me and Kevin went to Hawkins House of Burgers, best burger I've ever had in my life.
Man, I need it, bro. I'm so tired of hearing y'all talk about that shit.
Bro,
I need me a Compton burger, bro.
And it's like
walking.
It is. And the funny part is, like, you go there and it's called the House of Burgers. It literally is a house, right? Like, there's no where to sit. It's like a window. You go and order, and then there's a pickup window. So anyway, we go. I order my burger, fries, Kool-Aid. Kevin orders like just this monstrosity of burger that had like
I saw the picture, bro.
pastrami and hot. Like when he said he was gonna order it, I was like, "Are you sure?" Like I wasn't fat shaming him. I was just like, "Are you okay?" Anyway, so like we're waiting. It's like a 20-30 minute wait to get your food, and this young nigga walks up to us, sagging heavy, rolling like the biggest blunt, like was licking it, rolling. Weed was just like overflowing that shit. And he goes, "Block party? What's that?" And like it took me a while because like Kevin had the shirt on and I had the polo on. I was like, "What are you talking?" And I was like, "Oh." I was like, "Yeah, it's a podcast, bro. We talk about the Saints." The Saints? Yeah, bro, the football team. All right, then. just
Nigga.
all right. Or just Kevin said type shit and then walked off into the void.
Type shit.
Pretty much. But that was our day yesterday. It was hot as shit yesterday. But again, it was fun to be out there. I was gonna try to either hit up the Ohio State Pro Day or the Arizona State Pro Day, but
LSU Pro Day on the 23rd. I was like, can I get out there 23rd? That's a Monday.
Ooh, that's tough. That's a tough day.
Yeah, tough day. But dang, you have the Lane out there. We about to do his prospect of the week. Bunch of wide receivers. Nussmeier.
Might be their corner. We'll talk about it this weekend. We'll see. But we have 72 concurrent viewers, 309 views. We appreciate y'all, right?
For real.
Whether you're an OG listener or newer listener, viewer, whatever, and this is, I go back to this thing where like this notion that we love to relish in the Saints failing was like something that we enjoyed. Like people don't know how to run a business. So as like just the hope alone, not saying that it has nothing to do with us because we put our work in as well. But that hope alone, like the amount of Patreons we've gotten this last, 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, like when the Saints are doing well or perceived to be doing well, like people are like, you know what? Let me support these niggas. Like,
exactly.
Okay. So anyway, all that to say, appreciate y'all for the support, whether you're Patreon, whether you're not Patreon, as long as you listen and watch, and we appreciate it. If you do become a Patreon, we appreciate that as well, or a YouTube member, we appreciate that. And we just gonna keep it rolling, man. Like we'll see what happens. I think there might be some. I know that the Saints have some things up their sleeve that they potentially want to do. We'll see if it happens or not, but we'll keep an eye out on that. We'll be back this weekend. on Sunday morning for the Prospect of the Week episode for Mansour Delane, cornerback or defensive back LSU. And then next week we'll be back. At that point next week we'll be back if some like it. We'll be back for sure with one episode next week. But if anything happens, Saints related, trade, free agency, what have you, we got y'all covered. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. With that, we are out.
Peace.